I woke up from my surgery with a pain in my stomach, but I couldn't speak because of the anesthesia. And that's when my surgeon asked the nurse in Spanish, "One of the clamps is missing. Did you count all the tools before we stitched her up?" "I thought you counted them," the nurse said. And that's when the surgeon told her, "I think we left a clamp inside her." The nurse immediately panicked, asking what to do. "Nothing. We can't open her back up now. It would look suspicious," he said. I tried to tell them I understood every word, but my tongue still couldn't work because of the anesthesia. "But if she gets an infection, she could die," the nurse told him. But the surgeon said they would just blame my diabetes since no one could know they messed up the surgery. "Wait," I said, but it came out garbled. And so the surgeon told the nurse to sedate me because they needed me quiet while they figured this out. And so the nurse pushed something into my IV that made me feel foggy, but I fought to stay awake. "What if someone finds out?" the nurse asked. "No one will find out. She doesn't speak Spanish," the surgeon said. Then he confidently explained that by the time I woke up, they would have papers saying I had diabetes, so no one would catch them. "This feels wrong," the nurse said, and I thought I was safe. But the doctor yelled, "You want to lose your license? Remember, you counted the instruments, so you're also responsible." That's when I started to feel my tongue again, so I knew the anesthesia was wearing off. "If she codes, we say it was diabetic shock. Understood?" the surgeon asked. "Understood," the nurse said, and that's when I said in perfect Spanish, "I understood every single word you said." Their faces went white. I switched to English, saying I wanted the hospital administrator or else I was calling the police. And so the hospital administrator barged into my room, and after I told her everything, she rushed me into surgery. When I woke up again, a new surgeon was standing over me holding a huge clamp. "This was inside your stomach," she said. I fainted from the shock. I stabbed my 17-year-old son, and I'm not sorry. My husband came running downstairs and found me standing over him with red on my hands and red pooling on the carpet. My daughter was sitting on the stairs watching the whole thing, and she didn't say a word. My husband called 911, and his voice cracked on every word. "My wife stabbed my son. Please send someone right now." The police threw me to the ground and cuffed me while paramedics carried my son out on a stretcher. He was screaming that I tried to kill him. My daughter still didn't say anything. My husband came to visit me in jail the next day. "I'm filing for divorce," he said through the glass. "The lawyer is already drawing up papers." I told him I needed to explain what happened, and he slammed both hands against the glass. "You stabbed our son in our living room. You put a knife in your own child. There is nothing you could possibly say." I begged him to just listen to me for 5 minutes. "I hope you rot in here," he said. "I hope you never see sunlight again." My son gave a statement from his hospital bed saying I had always been unstable and that he lived in fear of me his whole life. My mother called and they patched her through. "You're not my daughter anymore," she said. "I'm telling everyone you died." My sister showed up at the jail. "You're a monster," she said. "I always knew something was wrong with you." My lawyer came with a stack of papers and told me the prosecutor was pushing for 25 years. My husband was testifying against me. My son was claiming years of abuse. Nobody believed I didn't just snap and try to murder my own kid. I told her I needed to talk to my daughter. She shook her head. "She's not talking. She just stares at the wall. The psychologist says she's in some kind of shock." I told my lawyer to keep trying because my daughter was the only one who knew what really happened. 4 weeks later, my lawyer came back and her hands were shaking. She finally talked. I held my breath. She said when your son came home that night, he was talking to people who weren't there and laughing at things nobody said. I nodded. She said she tried to go upstairs and he grabbed her by the hair and dragged her into the living room, threw her on the floor and put his knee on her chest. My lawyer's voice dropped to a whisper. She said he pulled out a knife and held it to her throat, told her the voices said he had to kill her and then himself or they would never leave him alone. My lawyer closed the folder. She said you came downstairs and saw him holding the blade to her neck. You begged him to stop and he just laughed and pressed harder. There was red running down into her shirt. She said you grabbed the first thing you could find and stabbed him in the shoulder because it was the only way to make him let go. I wiped my eyes with my sleeve. She said you saved her life. I looked at my lawyer. He was going to slit my daughter's throat right in front of me. I had half a second to make a choice. I chose a wounded son over a dead daughter. I'm not sorry.